Alrighty guys, I hope that you guys are all having a spectacular day. If you guys would please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really do enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also do me the biggest favor of all, hit that bell notification button. That way you guys do not miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. And as always, we're going to be continuing talking about Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3. This is going to be my full review of episode 6, titled Guns for Hire. And so this episode kicks off exactly where episode 5 left off, where Bo-Katan is with Din Djarin and Grogu, and they are going to find other scattered Mandalorian factions throughout the galaxy, bring them together. That way Mandalore can be retaken by the Mandalorians, being led by either the Armorer or by Bo-Katan. Obviously, we probably know who it's going to be. It's going to be Bo-Katan. The question, of course, in hand is that in order for her to be the ruler of Mandalore and for her to assemble all these Mandalorian factions together, she has to have the Darksaber. And that's what kind of killed the momentum of Bo-Katan taking Mandalore to begin with at the end of Season 2 and the beginning of Season 3. In this episode, we get to see a really cool new planet. We get to see a bunch of new and returning characters from past seasons. We also get some political stuff involving some alien species from the Clone Wars, which is really cool. And I was completely shocked. I was completely caught off guard when Jack Black, the actor Jack Black, showed up in this episode. It just came out of left field. Nothing prepared me for that. I was completely shocked. I was like, wow. that happening was just really spectacular. I really loved it. And I hope he's not just some sort of cameo character, and I hope he didn't just get signed on to do this one episode. I'd like to see his character be fleshed out more, because I think there's a lot interesting backstory involving his character, of him going from being rich guy to being a lord to being an elected democratical leader of this entire planet and society. And I'd like to see more of that backstory, especially for that character and the character to grow in the future. We get to see battle droids and other droids live action again, which is really cool. I haven't seen them in forever live action version. I think the last time we saw them live action version was no, they weren't in Rogue One. So it was Revenge of the Sith. It's almost been 2 decades, which is really cool. Seeing the new planet that we have in this episode, the fact that the planet's society is so interwoven with the droids that are malfunctioning, and seeing the consequences that the planet's society would collapse if all the droids would turn off, because everyone's so used to the droids doing all the manual labor and the hard stuff. That way the organics, the humans and other alien species, can go about their day doing things of, running for president, tending to their garden, exercise, whatever they want to. The droids are the ones in charge of the shipping department. They're in charge of the main critical things. And so this episode tells another cautionary tale to the audience to not become too dependent on technology. And I really love that aspect. I love the droid bar scene. That was really cool. And the whole episode is a buddy cop investigation, basically, mixed in with basically a video game-esque side objective. So the plot of the movie is Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, and Grogu want to meet up with Bo-Katan's old fleet that she assembled that she was going to use to retake Mandalore. But before they can do that, they need to go talk to a vendor, and the vendor gives them a side quest to complete, which leads to the buddy cop investigation. And once that's been completed, then they can actually complete the main objective. It literally is formulaic in the sense that it is a video game-like episode in that way. Even that being said, the fantastic action sequences kept me hooked in. Seeing Bo-Katan versus her old second-in-command in a death challenge was really epic. The episode also explains logically, because of the events that transpired in past episodes here in Season 3, how Bo-Katan can take the Darksaber, or can be given the Darksaber willingly by Din Djarin without having to challenge him. So Bo-Katan doesn't have to challenge Din Djarin to the death or kill him in order to acquire the Darksaber, because at the beginning of season, I think it was episode 1 or 2 of season 3. I don't know, it's kind of forgettable. But Din Djarin got captured by that robotic spider-like thingy on Mandalore, and so he lost the Darksaber in that way. So it was taken from him in that sense. So he was beaten in combat in that sense by that droid thing. And then Bo-Katan showed up, defeated that droid, which means everything that was in that droid's possession is now Bo-Katan's. So that is the workaround where Bo-Katan and Din Djarin don't have to fight. Kind of sucks they don't have to. I was kind of hoping that they would in some capacity, and it would lead to some sort of epic conclusion to the story in that way. But I understand what they're trying to do. They don't want to kill Din Djarin. They don't want to injure him in that capacity. They don't want to sideline him. Even though that's what the show kind of is doing now. It's focusing on Bo-Katan taking over Mandalore instead of Din Djarin and Grogu going on adventures. And I think this episode is probably the best. My biggest complaint, though, is that what was the purpose of Grogu being in... Grogu doesn't do anything in this episode except act cute. He does a flip using the Force, and that is it. Again, this episode proves that Grogu does not need to exist in this show. Grogu hasn't done anything of worthwhile significance to justify his existence being in season 3. Literally, if you watch season 1 and 2, you skip Book of Boba Fett where Grogu gets reunited with Din Djarin, and then you watch this season, you're like, why is Grogu still around, and what does he bring? Grogu doesn't add anything. And I understand the whole point of Grogu still being in the Mandalorian universe is that it's a marketing toy to sell, plushies and other merchandise of that nature. But Grogu does not add anything to the plot, adds nothing character-wise. He's not growing at all. He's not learning how to control his Force abilities, really. And he's not contributing anything to the overall arcs or characters of that nature. So while I want to give this episode a 10 out of 10 because I think it's the best episode of season 3 so far, because Grogu doesn't need to exist still and it adds nothing to the character's plot, I'm going to have to give this episode a 9 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section down below, do you guys agree or disagree? Look forward to more videos and streams coming out soon. We got episodes 7 and 8 left of this season, and unfortunately they said because season 3 hasn't been getting a lot of views and been basically getting a lot of negative press, even though season 4 has already been written. Disney and Lucasfilm has said that it's probably going to be a while before we get season 4, which kind of irritates me because we took so long to get a season 3. And I think when season 4 rolls around, if season 4 rolls around, the hype for it is going to be kind of bad. It's going to be worse than the hype for season 3, which was non-existent almost. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Have a good one, guys. Peace.